It's been quite a long day here in Catesville. Crews have finally wrapped up their project after multiple water main breaks. The Missouri State climatologist told me today that this week's heat and the ongoing drought doesn't have an end just yet. This graph behind me shows access to mental health care across the United States. Now, as you can see, Missouri is part of a darker group of colors, which means it's in the bottom ranks. Now, right behind me is the Route BB overpass here in Rocheport, and that has been closed since mid-June. MoDOT says more than 500 vehicles would utilize the overpass before it was closed. Julius, outside the Spirit of 76 tent earlier today, people were looking to find the perfect fireworks for their celebrations this year. But mid-Missouri is in between severe and extreme drought conditions. This could affect the way that you celebrate your holiday. I am at the I-70 and Highway 63 connector, where traffic is actually looking much calmer than today's rush.
And KMU8's Leah Rainwater will have community reaction.
Now, the group says that they will continue to attend City Council and Citizens Police Review Board meetings to hold CPD accountable for their future efforts. Now, Schluty will officially be sworn in as the next police chief on the December 4th City Council meeting. In the downtown newsroom, Leah Rainwater, KMU8 News. Catholic Charities of Central and Northern Missouri and City of Refuge hosted an event to support local refugees today. Well, Evie, I walked into Austin Safford's house today where the thermostat read 65 degrees and the coldest room in his house being 62.5 degrees. That's about a 30-degree increase from the temperature he says his home was at about a week ago. Smoke rolls from the chimney that Austin Safford says he's not supposed to be using. That's because he's been without heat for a week.
Right now we've got a propane heater, the fireplace, which I don't think I'm supposed to use, but I'm going to because it's survival at this point. The oven's on and I do have a space heater running.
Safford reached out to his landlord after coming home to a thermostat that was at a temperature that was almost below freezing.
I get home, walk in, and I'm like, wow, it sure is cold in here. Thermostat on the wall says 33 degrees. And I come in the kitchen and the dog is just shivering.
Columbia Housing Code states that dwellings shall be provided with heating facilities capable of maintaining a room temperature of 68 degrees Fahrenheit during the winter months. And Safford can't take care of the problem himself.
Normally, we don't have renters that just call in. It's almost always the landlord. And even if we did have a renter that called in, we would probably ask them to have the landlord communicate with us before we go out, just so we know we have permission and someone who's going to be financially responsible, aware of what we're doing.
Per common law, landlords have responsibility to keep a home in a habitable condition. If a landlord fails to fix any issues, tenants can withhold rent, sue the landlord for a breach of contract, or can execute the deduct and repair statute. KMU reached out to the management group that owns the home. They say the issue was with the gas valve and that they plan to fix the furnace soon. Safford says that the situation, on top of many others like mold and dripping ceilings, have caused him to make the decision to move. That's why Safford has set up a GoFundMe to help with the costs of breaking his lease and moving. In the studio, Leah Rainwater, KMU8 News. Brooke Bailey's family protested outside the Cooper County Courthouse today. Their message: to advocate for mental and medical help for inmates in the Cooper County Jail and to get justice for Brooke's death. Brooke Bailey had about a dozen people standing behind her today.
I want that to be known that this should never happen to anybody's family. Nobody deserves this.
Brooke was previously diagnosed with type 1 diabetes before being held in the Cooper County Jail. Her mother says Brooke called her with claims that she couldn't breathe and that she was going to die. The family claims Brooke did not receive the medical help she asked for at the jail, and the family now says they're hurting for answers.
Nobody wants to wake up one day and be told that their mom or their daughter is dead in a jail cell.
The Bailey family is hoping one day justice will be served for Brooke's death.
The outcome that we want is the people that neglected her, the reason that she's not here today, we want them behind bars. We want justice for Brooke, and that's how we're going to get it.
She was never the type of person to be mad at someone for messing up. She was always the type of person to laugh and help you when you were sad and She's never, even if you do something wrong to her, she's never been a bad person to anybody.
The family says they're heartbroken.
If I'm being honest, broken, and I really wish that we did not have to stand here today. And I wish that none of this ever happened, because I'd have my mother standing with me right here.
Bailey was charged with tampering with a motor vehicle in 2021. She was being held in the Cooper County Jail while waiting to receive a mental health evaluation. KMU reached out to authorities to confirm information regarding this case. They're not commenting because the case is still under investigation by the Pettis County Sheriff's Office. It's hard to tell, but if you look closely here, you can see the mineral particles in this glass of water from one Centralia home. Extensive calcium and mineral buildup could be bad for the pipes in your home and your appliances, and even your health. A tall glass of tap water is not in the cards for Ken Weekend.
Just happened to notice after we got back from going to the gym that there was pieces of metal or something floating around in my shaker bottle, and that's when we had made the decision that we're not drinking this anymore.
Ken and his wife have had to make a few out-of-pocket expenses to keep their home healthy.
We're buying bottled water, big packs of bottled water. It's a little bit more of a shot to the wallet, but I mean, my kids drink the water, I drink the water, and we've drank it for a while now. We've gotten sick a few times.
And their symptoms:
really bad stomach pain, headache.
According to the National Institution of Health, drinking hard tap water for a long period of time can cause physical damage to people as well as damage to some household items.
I don't know how many other people around here drink the water, but it's also taking a toll on people's appliances, their washing machines or dishwashers. All that calcium buildup is just, it's going to start destroying some people's appliances.
The city of Centralia says the problem is related to the malfunctioning of their lime slaker, which softens the water. It's working to fix this issue and wants residents to know
the water is safe. It is tested regularly. We test the water multiple times a day, and it is meeting and exceeding all safe drinking water standards.
City officials say the lime slaker has been broken since January and won't be able to be replaced until July of 2024. In the meantime, the city recommends residents to install in-home water softeners or filtration systems to battle this issue until the slaker is fixed. In the studio, Leah Rainwater, KMU 8 News. Temperatures in Fulton peaked slightly above 100 degrees today. However, the Missouri Department of Corrections says the FRDC has never been fully air conditioned. The department says cool air is coming, but inmates say not soon enough.
Today, a facility unit manager told one of the inmates to tell his people to stop calling about his problems. You know what I mean? Really think that they don't, it's kind of a thing they don't care. I mean, it's kind of a thing that goes, we're working on it, but I mean, it's really just a thing that they don't care.
Devin House is charged for possession of a controlled substance and forgery. He has been in this facility for 2 months this year.
For us to be inhumanely sitting and stuff in our room like this, and with, heat advisory and humidity and stuff like that, you don't understand. You got 2 grown men in their room, shipped down to their boxers.
One advocate for prison reform from the Missouri Justice Coalition says there's more that goes into not having air conditioning.
Anyone who is in the custody of the state or in the custody of anybody, like even your children, right? If you're in the custody of someone, they are supposed to provide adequate, humane conditions for you.
In a statement, Karen Podgman from the Department of Corrections says, quote, "In extreme heat, we use additional industrial-sized fans in buildings, distribute ice to all housing units 3 times a day, restrict physical activity, and make water available in all areas at all times, and take other heat safety measures." Within the last hour, I spoke to a family member of an inmate in the correctional facility. She says there are fans provided, but I was told they are not in the most effective places. Funding to install air conditioning is coming in fiscal year 2024, which begins tomorrow. But the DOC says they do not have a set deadline for the installation process yet. In the studio, Leah Rainwater, KMU 8 News.
It's been very slow. We had to go to paper plates. We tried to get everything done this morning that we could, and then we heated water on the stove so we could get the dishes washed up. and get them sanitized and everything. We couldn't serve any water for drinks.
Most of the city has been shut down.
Joe and I have been out here since 2 o'clock this morning.
And city crews have worked non-stop since then to find the leak.
When the town's out of water, number one job is get the water back in service.
At the time, business owner Shirley Morris said she hoped the leak would get fixed sooner than later.
I hope they'll have it fixed tonight, but I don't know.
Crews were able to pull it off with limited resources.
You know, people have to understand that when you live in a small town, you can't afford $400,000 and $500,000 worth of fancy equipment, so it sometimes takes us longer to fix.
Crew Chief Roger Sullivan says patience was needed and appreciated during a project as big as this one.
The town needs to be patient. We're working as fast and as hard as we can, and as soon as we get it back on, we'll let them know.
Leah Rainwater, KMU8 News, Keatsville.